guys, welcome back to my channel. I rarely ever record from my computer, but I am traveling at the moment. I just checked in to the Four Seasons here in Casablanca, Morocco. Give you guys a little view from my balcony. But yeah, so I wanted to just do a quick introduction to this video because this is all about my trip to Portugal that I took a couple of weeks ago. I went on a fam trip with Serendipians and Tours for You and Osiris, all DMCs in Portugal, through our travel agency, Explorateur Travel. So I'm really excited to share with you guys everything that went well on that trip and everything that we experienced, the culture, all of that stuff. Portugal was just amazing. Like from day 1 to day 8, we did not stop. We had so much food, so much wine. So I'm just gonna dive right into it. Here we go. Okay, so my trip to Portugal was just amazing. What was crazy though is that there are no direct flights currently from Palma to Lisbon, so I had to lay over in Barcelona both ways, which is a bit crazy. I think it's because it's March. I believe in April it starts, I was about to say starts sailing directly. It starts flying directly. So if you are traveling to Europe, do keep that in mind that if you travel during off seasons that flights will not be as direct and it might be a little bit more complicated for you to reach your intended destinations. And just with the current climate of the world and COVID-19, so many flights are being canceled. So just keep that in mind when you're traveling. So our first day was Monday, the 21st of March. We stayed at Martin Hall, Cascais. I really liked Cascais. It is a beautiful little seaside city. Really stunning, nice, lovely beach, just really epic. So we started off, we checked in and relaxed, had a welcome dinner. Everything was lovely. We had so much food on this trip. It is ridiculous. Every meal was at least 3 courses, if not more. It was epic, but so much food. It was crazy. So our first day, we also went on a beautiful sailing experience along Lisbon's coast. So you get to kind of see the Portuguese capital from a new perspective, which is the river. The cruise was a lot of fun. We had complimentary alcohol. It was about 3 hours. Lots of really pretty things to photograph. So you get to see all of the fortresses as you make your way into Lisbon from Cascais. We had to rearrange our trip because we weren't able to sail in from where we were because the weather was a bit turbulent in the coast. So we just stayed in the river. We didn't go into the ocean because they didn't want us to get sick, but it was a lovely little catamaran and we had such a nice time. While we were in Lisbon, we also went to St. Jerome's Monastery, which I had no idea what to expect, but it was amazing. So this area of Belém, something like that. I'm not really sure how to pronounce Portuguese. It's very confusing. But it has heavy ties to the maritime exploration in the 15th and 16th centuries. And St. Jerome's Monastery is a huge religious sort of monument to this time period. It's where a bunch of the monks lived, and they make these used to make these amazing pastries called the pastéis de Belém. And they are so delicious and so sweet. So if you like your sweets, you'll definitely love these. But St. Jerome's Monastery was absolutely stunning. I don't know how it wasn't a Game of Thrones filming location, but it was just really cool. So there's a combination of religious motives, nautical symbols, tombs of historical characters like Vasco da Gama and Fernando Pessoa, who is a famous Portuguese poet. So they're transformed in the monastery, and it's one of the most astonishing pieces of architecture in Europe. Honestly, it's really cool. So when you go and visit, you're able to see the church and the cloisters, which are considered by many to be some of the most beautiful in the world. And then afterwards, I definitely recommend you go and try the Belém custard tartlets. So our next day, we went to Cascais, Queluz and Sintra, Queluz, something. Again, my Portuguese is not great. And then we also went to Estoril. So Cascais is really stunning little town, like I said earlier, and so is Sintra, beautiful little mountain town. It actually kind of reminded me a little bit of Ecuador. It reminded me a bit of Baños, kind of like the way the air sort of hung, like it was this weird sort of like foggy stuff, and it's a microclimate within this area, this Lisbon area of Portugal. We went to the Palace of Queluz, and we had a dressage presentation while we were there. The palace is really stunning. It's a very important historical palace within the Lisbon area, so definitely worth going to see if you're staying in Cascais or Sintra. While we were in Lisbon, we also went on a private tour and private tram ride of the city. So the private tram ride is really cool. During the summer, these trams can get packed. And while it's a really cool way to kind of explore the city, having that private tram ride is something that's really interesting and something that I was really glad to experience, because now I know that is even an option for my clients where I didn't know it was before. They're actually really economical, especially if you have like a family going. It's not that expensive to do a private tram ride. So if you're interested in that, please reach out to me and I would love to help you set that up. After our tram tour, the next day we also went to the Alentejo region to do a wine tasting, which you know I love. The wine was absolutely delightful. Alentejo, I really like Portuguese wine. I had never had it, I don't think, before I went to Portugal. Obviously, I've had port, but not like Portuguese, like normal wine, non-fortified wine. I guess all wine is a normal wine, but non-fortified port. So it was just really, really nice to try the different Portuguese wines and all of that good stuff. Obviously, there's a couple different wine regions. Douro Valley is a huge, huge wine region in Portugal, and one I definitely recommend visiting. We didn't get to it on this trip, but the Alentejo wine is really lovely, and Cartuja is one of their particular brands and is one of the best wines in Portugal. We also went to Evora, which is a stunning little city down in between sort of Lisbon and the Algarve. There's a lot of historical monuments there, a really beautiful cathedral. There's also the creepiest but coolest place in the world. It's a tomb of skulls. So they call it the Bone Tomb or the Bone Chapel. And this bone chapel is literally made of just like hundreds, possibly thousands, definitely thousands of bones. And it is so eerie, but also like really, it felt cool. It was just a really cool place to see. There's skulls all over the ceilings and on the sides of the walls, and then different like bones of the body just surrounding this place. It wasn't very big. I definitely recommend trying to go either right as it opens or right as it closed, because during the bit heavy season, like during the busy season, it would get really packed in there. But it's definitely worth like trying to get as much to yourself as possible, because it's a really cool place to see, and you're going to want to be able to take photos of all of the different bones. We finally made it down to the Algarve on the 25th. So this is day like 5 now, day 6. Day 6. Yeah. So this is day 6. We had a cooking class in the morning, and we learned how to make catapulana, which is a traditional Portuguese dish. We also learned about how they like to roast their chorizo in a special dish, which was really cool. I'd never seen that before. And the catapulana is made in these special copper tins that you don't stir anything. You just put all of the ingredients in layers, close the tin, and then it kind of just cooks itself in a certain amount of time. It was really cool, and it was nice to like sort of help out. I mostly did the shelling of shrimp, but you know, all good stuff. And then on the next day, part of the cooking class as well was we were able to go to the market. They took us to the market and showed us kind of how to buy fresh food in Portugal. We were able to walk around. We saw a lot of artisanal craft makers and had some really nice experiences there. Be sure when you go to Portugal to make sure you have cash on you, because none of the artisanal craft people will be taking any card. And then on the 26th, we visited Lagos and Sagres. and had a wonderful time. Saw the fort where Henry the Navigator's house was, and it was really beautiful coastline, very cliffy, absolutely stunning. Had never really experienced anything like that in Portugal before, which was really cool. So I really enjoyed it. Overall, we had a really great time. We saw so much, stayed at so many beautiful hotels in Lisbon and Cascais, Estoril. I forgot to mention that Estoril is the birthplace of James Bond. So that's kind of cool if you're there. And there's a casino nearby. And if you want to do like a James Bond themed party for somebody while you're in Portugal, that would be kind of a cool thing to do, because that is where the books were inspired to be written. So yay, I hope you guys liked this Portugal travel blog. All right, guys, so I really hope you enjoyed my Portugal vlog. If you have any questions or need any help planning your trip to Portugal, please just let me know. I would love to do so. If you go down to the description down below, there is a link that you can click to fill out an inquiry form to hire me, so that we can collaborate together and work on creating the absolute most perfect itinerary for your dream trip to Portugal or wherever you might want to go. I look forward to hearing from you guys soon. Bye.